Great.
Grand Chief Stuart Phillip. I'm the president of the Union of BC Indian Chiefs. We're a rights-based organization, Indigenous rights. We were established in 1969 in the immediate aftermath of the White Paper policy, and our primary mandate is to seek a just resolution of the land question and to defend our inherent rights to self-determination and to be mindful of the socioeconomic conditions within our communities. We represent 104 First Nations in the province of British Columbia, so slightly over half of the First Nations in British Columbia. An incredibly valuable opportunity to establish connections with our Indigenous brothers and sisters from Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Ecuador, Chile, and we're essentially fighting the same issue with respect to the predations of the toxic mining industry in our territories. Situation in Central and South America is a lot harsher than it is here in Canada, but I'm really ashamed to say that it's Canadian mining companies that are committing the brutal acts of repression, people going missing, being tortured, murdered in Central America and South America. But nonetheless, mining is mining. It's a very toxic industry that leaves a wasteland in its wake, and we have much in common with our Indigenous brothers and sisters, and we shall continue building on these relationships and strengthen our networks and continue to work in a collaborative fashion against the mining industry and the financial investors that support the mining industry. Hear the stories, first-hand stories of some of the terrible tragedies that are taking place down south, and certainly we have every reason to work together in solidarity. So I'm very grateful that well, needless to say, I was shocked to find out that this is ground zero, that the vast majority of mining companies that are committing these horrible violations of the human rights of Indigenous peoples in Central and South America are based here in Vancouver. These same mining companies are in the Philippines and in Africa and other places around the world. There's absolutely no regulatory accountability or requirements for them to respect the human dignity, the human rights, the civil rights of Indigenous peoples in other parts of the world. So they use brute force, they use paramilitary security services to go in and clear out the Indigenous populations. And I think Canadians have a right to know what these mining companies are doing, and it's my understanding that MP Peter Julian is making an effort to bring forward a private member's bill to hold these corporations to account outside of the country, so to speak, as well as within Canada itself. So I would urge the general public to become aware of what's happening, and secondly, to support the introduction and passage of this much needed legislation.